Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is ticking off another viewer requested video for me to do another cooking video. I'll state, as I always do, this is not a cooking channel. So fundamentally an orchid and chat channel. The cooking videos have half of that. They do have some chat. Otherwise it would be a bit quiet, wouldn't it, while I'm cooking. We're doing a chilli today. There's lots of things wrong with what's going on. First of all, I don't normally eat this time of day anymore. I tend to eat closer to lunchtime, sort of early afternoon. But there was a good tennis match on, which I fell asleep for some of, and then woke up the sort of finale where it was all getting exciting, and I watched it till the end. So I'm doing this a bit later in the day than I wanted to, but nonetheless needs to be done today. The thing is, chilli, because it's spicy, it's going to upset my tongue. It usually does. I put up with it because it's not bad, and normally I'm here. But I couldn't leave this till tomorrow because the following day I've got the Orchid Society meeting. So it had to be done today. I just about remembered to get the mince out the freezer, and I've got everything ready, so we'll get going. It's not a complicated meal. It's probably my simplest meal that's a bulk cook that can then be portioned up and put in the freezer. So it's an almost instant meal in the future because it's a portion out of the freezer, let it defrost preferably because it cooks quicker then. And then if it's defrosted, it's like 5-6 minutes in the microwave. If it hasn't defrosted, it's 15 minutes, so it's no big deal. Right, so first thing we're going to do is cook some oil. Cook some oil. We'll use some oil to cook some onions. Alright, so we'll put some oil in. Don't need a huge amount. It's quite a lot of liquid comes out of the onions anyway. Get some heat on. And you'll notice it's a nice blue flame, unlike the other day where we had a panic. Come on, we had a yellow flame, and we set the carbon monoxide alarm off, and to ventilate the whole house basically, clear all the fumes out. It was solvable. There wasn't anything wrong with the cooker. Lots of suggestions about cleaning it. Well, it was all right a couple of hours before when I did my breakfast, and once I ventilated the room it was fine again. So it obviously wasn't the cooker, it was the air that was causing the problem. Anyway, onions, there's 3 onions there. With chilli I use red onions. There is no logical reason why I couldn't use white onions, no reason at all. It's just a habit I've got into. I use red onions for chilli. I use white onions for curry. I don't do the spaghetti very often simply because the spaghetti bolognese without the actual spaghetti, the pasta bit, is not actually that good. Whereas the chilli I'm quite happy to have without the rice, and the curry I'm happy to have without the rice. Which is one of the things I sort of cut out of my diet to try and continue to lose weight, which we are doing. It's very slow progress, but it's like my channel that sort of, you know, it's very slow progress increasing my subscribers and my viewers on my channel. But at least it's going up and not going down. And with my weight, it's the opposite. It's going down and not going up. We like that. Right, so we'll get that sizzling away. While it's the way I cut up onions, I end up with a lot of the parts of the rings stuck together. So during this phase, I try and unstick them and get them into separate pieces. Once they get a bit of heat on them, they separate quite easy. And then any big bits that you know didn't get cut up very well, I just chop as I'm going along. I don't mind chunky onion for chilli actually, it's not a big deal. And with chilli I cook same as I do with curry. I cook the onion until I see a little bit of colour. As soon as I see some colour, you don't stop cooking it, but you move it off the heat basically. So just let that, it's all coated in oil now. I've chopped it up, it's all sort of ready to go. And just let that go for a while now. In the meantime, we'll get the lids off of the sauce. It's all store-bought sauce, chilli sauce. There's 2 mild ones and a hot one. I used to do 2 hot and a mild, but to say my stomach's not so happy with this spicy stuff nowadays. So we just tone it down a bit. And then these, we've got 2 of these, which is red kidney beans, and 1 tin of black beans. That's the bean element of it. Yeah, that onion is just starting to catch now, so it's just starting to colour up. So we move that over to one side, leaving a nice clear bit of pan in which we can dump our mince. Chop that up into smaller pieces. The pan's nice and hot. If the, I was just going to say, this might not be completely thawed out, which it isn't. There's still a lumpy bit in the middle, but it'll thaw very quickly in this heat. It's surrounded by mince that's getting very hot now, and basically it'll thaw out. It's not a problem. And if your pan isn't that hot when you put the mince in, you will get a hell of a lot of liquid come out of the mince. Now this is the leanest mince I can get from the supermarket I use. This is 5% fat, which is a very low fat volume. Again, thinking about controlling my weight and everything. The next one you get is 15% fat, and if I had 15% fat in this pan now, it would be floating and it would be fat, so there's no way I'm eating that. So we have the 5% fat, minimum fat. A little bit of juice comes out, but a lot more comes out if the pan's not so hot. So I have the pan, flames on full blast, I haven't turned it down yet, and woks get very hot. They don't know how they cook. If you're doing Chinese type cooking, they very, very hot. And their method of cooking is very fast and furious, basically. You watch their stir fries, they spend more time chopping up the vegetables than they do cooking them. They go in the wok, get tossed around, and they're done. It's almost instant, and that's because of the heat. I don't mind if there's still a bit of pink left, but I'd rather it was all coloured up. I'll just leave that to carry on cooking while I get these lids off the beans. Funny actually, there was a question on a quiz program at some point, I forget which quiz program, but it basically said name something that is designed to fail, and I don't think the person understood the question, but this is one of them. This is a ring pull can. This ring pull is designed to fail. If it didn't, you wouldn't get it open, would you? Another thing that's designed to fail are motorway barriers. They're designed to buckle. All the posts that hold the rail up are designed to break off and buckle so that the rail can bend and hold the car on the side of the motorway where the problem is, rather than crossing the motorway straight into the path of oncoming traffic, which wouldn't be so good. So there's a couple of things that are designed to fail. I'm sure there's lots of others. But when they asked the question on the quiz show, I was sort of watching, and I immediately thought of a ring pull can as the first thing I thought of. So I'm just draining the excess liquid off with these. I don't want so much liquid in, otherwise it will be a very runny chilli. It's quite a thick liquid. It's only water. You know, it's not anything special, so it would just add too much liquid in. Right, so we mix bring the, whoops, chucking all over the place now, that'll be too hot to get with my fingers. So we've mixed the onion back in now, the mince is cooked, and that's the basic ingredients, that's all that goes in really, the rest of it is all store-bought stuff. And the next thing we do is take that heat right down. So there we are. The mince isn't ground down to mince. It's still quite lumpy. And again, I quite like some big pieces in my chilli. So that's that. And we'll add the beans. That's the red kidney beans. There's still some liquid in the can, but not much. Always double check, because sometimes you get a layer of beans stuck to the bottom of the can that won't come out. And then of course what we do is we push the lid in and we squash the can. Why do we do that? Because it stops the little creatures getting their heads in the can and getting stuck. If it's all squashed like that, they can't get their head in the can. So that's why we do that. It's for the wildlife, little voles and such like. It's not exactly a big effort. And although some people think, oh, you must be really strong squashing a can, these are as thin as anything, there's no effort. No effort at all. Right, so that's the beans in. Give that a bit of a stir. Obviously that's going to take the heat out of the mince and the onions straight away, which is why I turned the heat right down. I'll have to bring it back up to temperature, but I don't want it happening while I'm not ready, if you know what I mean. Right, next we'll put the sauces in. To say, this is all store-bought stuff, but the final result is quite nice. I've got my the grow room in this heat wave is now predictable. So what I'm doing is any work I need to do in there, whether it just be watering or anything else I need to do, I get done by 11 o'clock. Because 11 o'clock the sun starts to hit the roof and it starts to heat up. Well, I let it heat up to a degree and then I go out and open the door and turn the fan on full blast, and that's how it stays until the sun clears the roof. Don't go out there, I don't worry about it, that's just how it is. And it gets up to, well, it can get up to 30, but most days at the moment it seems to be staying around 28, 29, which is far too hot. I don't want it that hot, but that's controlled. If I didn't open that door with the fan on full blast, I'd be up to 32, 33, possibly even 34, which is not going to do the orchids any good at all. Not doing them a lot of good at that temperature, but at least it's sort of controllable. Right, and then the next thing I do is just put a bit of water in these jars, because there's always some thick sauce in the bottom which I don't want to waste. So we give it a good shake. That can go in there. And then all those will get rinsed out and go off to recycling along with the cans. I'm glad my neighbours now, the new neighbours, well they're not that new anymore, but compared with the last lot, they do think about recycling. We've got the separate bins out there, and this lot next door, they do actually put the right stuff in the right bins. The previous lot used to have just one big bin in the kitchen, everything went in there, mostly takeaway stuff, and then they chucked the whole lot in whichever bin was emptiest. Didn't even worry about which bin it went in. Useless lot. Right, so that's all the sauces in. Let's give that a stir round. Obviously this is quite cool now, but the heat's still there. There is a flame underneath it that will be gradually warming it up, slowly but surely. And then the last thing that goes in there is the packets. This is the spices that give it its full flavour. The sauces add quite a bit of flavour. I mean, once I made the chilli, and I thought I had some of these stored up in the cupboard, and when I looked I hadn't, so I had to make do without these spices, and it was nowhere near as nice, but it was still okay, if you know what I mean. It wasn't horrible, it just wasn't as nice. These add a lot of flavour. This is a lot of it's just chilli powder and cayenne pepper and that sort of stuff. Probably a list on the back that says what's in it, in such small writing that I probably can't read it. It's a fiery recipe mix with vibrant chilies, earthy cumin and sweet paprika for an authentic Mexican flavour. There you go, now you know. It doesn't actually. Do you know that's all that's in it? Oh, hang on, down here, what have we got then? Chili peppers, dried onion, cumin, cayenne pepper, coriander seed, dried garlic, white pepper, flour, and then it gives you the list of everything that's in the flour. They have to do this nowadays. Potato starch, salt, we could do without that, and oregano, or oregano. I'm English, so it's oregano. Right, so that's everything in there that's going in there. Now we get a bit of tissue and wipe this up, because there's a bit of dribbling thing going on, and in addition to that I dropped some of that powder. And there is a remote chance that some of that powder is now on my hands. So what we do now, we can leave that, I'll stir that in a minute, is we've got I forgot to put my apron on. If I haven't looked, no I haven't. Forgot to put my apron on, never mind, I'm not doing it now, finished. It's just rinse these jars of rinse, if they're going in recycling, it's I mean, all of the glass gets separated out, and I'm sure if it's going to go into some sort of reuse, which I'm sure it does, I'm sure it all gets washed anyway, whether it's clean or not. But I always think if you rinse stuff, it stops the flies being attracted, you know. More to go to recycling, and then more importantly than rinsing that is to rinse my hands, just in case any of that ice cream man. Don't know whether the camera will pick that up. Little van comes round, plays a little tune, calling all the kids out for their ice cream. Most of the time it's grown-ups that run out there to get an ice cream, not kids. Probably getting the ice cream for the kids, of course. Right, so we are done, basically. Just get this stirred in now. And this has got thickeners in it as well, with the flour obviously, that's what the flour is for, it helps thicken. So that little bit of watery stuff that came out of the jars to get the last bit of the sauce out, that now gets counterbalanced by the thickeners to turn it into a normal chilli type consistency. Now some places that serve chilli, it's actually really thick and quite dry. Now I don't like it like that. I like a lot of sauce. And of course that goes back to the days where I used to have a heap of rice with it. And obviously you want quite a bit of sauce to go with your rice. So. Right, so we will now up that heat a fraction to get it back up to blipping. And then we will turn it down as low as it will go again. And in the meantime, get the containers out. And get my big spoon. And we've done all that without having any wine at all. That's because I forgot it was there. It's the dregs of a bottle from yesterday. And of course it's not as nice as it was yesterday. To put up with that. I do on occasions, I must admit, I do on occasions drink a whole bottle in a day. But it's normally spread over, like if I have sort of cheese and biscuits for lunch and open the bottle to have a glass of wine with that. I used to possibly go out and sit in the garden with another glass, which I don't do anymore. Well, not often. It still doesn't work. And then I'd have some more wine with my main meal. But my main meal is now earlier in the day, so I don't normally get through that much wine anymore. Let's get this over. I've got a shelf over here above the bin, which is where I put all the recycling. Now these, I don't think these are recyclable. What does it say? It'll say if it is. Well, oh yeah, recyclable with paper. So they are recyclable. Good. They never used to be. They used to be foil. So that's all my stuff to go out in the recycling bin next time I go out. See, the bin, the actual bin that I've got in the kitchen is for non-recyclable stuff. The recyclable stuff I just store up there because in the main it's clean. Now, like this has had mince in it, so it's got blood in the container. So we give that a rinse. And we do that in case I don't go out to the bin for a day or two. And obviously that would smell, but by giving it a rinse it doesn't. So we're all there now. All done, and that's just coming up to blipping, which is what I want, so that now goes down as low as I can possibly get it without it going out. And then we will let that sit for a while, blipping away very gently, stirring occasionally. It helps thicken it up and sort of infuses the flavours, so that the onion obviously absorbs massive amounts of flavour. It's really why you put onion in stuff, to absorb the flavours. Onion on its own hasn't actually got a lot of taste. It's more of a smell than a taste. But it absorbs flavours really well. So, and it also bulks things up. Now I don't always do this, but because that was a smaller pack of mince, I'm actually going to add a tin of baked beans. Again, just to bulk it up a bit. Add a bit more and a different type of bean yet again. So we'll add those in. It's not going to add a huge amount of bulk in, but it does add a different taste, a different texture. I don't eat, the only time I ever have beans to eat is when Hannah's down, when we have our, what I call a half-cooked breakfast. It's not a full English, it's a half-cooked breakfast. Basically we have a couple of fried eggs, some hash browns and some beans, and it makes a nice breakfast. But apart from that, I don't ever eat beans, so they sit on the shelf for flipping ages. I mean, Hannah's only down every 4 or 5 weeks, and we don't always have that for breakfast. So, you know, sometimes it could be sort of 8 weeks between having some beans. But anyway, that's increased the volume a bit. Now again, we need to infuse flavours, so all of the chilli sauce, the packet spices, all of that sort of thing merges in together with the mince, the onions and the beans, absorb some, and they all adopt a sort of communal flavour. But within that you've got the different textures, and you know, like with the beans, the taste of those beans is still there inside. So even though the outside may have absorbed some taste, the inside still hasn't. I've just noticed we've been splooping. Been splatting all up the tiles here. Just hope we haven't been splatting over my shirt. Oh, that'll do for now. Right, so that's it. As I said, the grow room is organised now. I've found a pattern that works the best I can while we're having yet another heat wave. This is the 3rd one this year, and it's going to be a long one. They say at least another week and possibly another 10 days. They said that yesterday. So yeah, not good. Not good for the garden, not good for the grow room, and it's not good for a lot of people. People who aren't affected that much by heat don't really appreciate how bad it can be. For people who have difficulty breathing, people with asthma, all that sort of stuff, you know, people that are a bit frail perhaps, it can be quite difficult to sort of, you know, feel okay in that sort of heat. I mean, I'm losing sleep slowly but surely. I put up with that. I don't need a lot of sleep. I never have. Apart from when I was young, of course, and you sleep for 12 hours then. But but yeah, I don't, you know, I mean, I went upstairs to bed last night. I didn't get to sleep very well at all. I did eventually. Woke up in the middle of the night, as one does. Had a hell of a job getting back to sleep, but managed it eventually. Now that's the heat. You know, it's just not comfortable. So the temperature's the same today and probably going to be the same tomorrow. Then it's going to cool down a little bit. So at the moment I don't propose to sleep downstairs. I'm going to carry on trying to manage going to bed properly. It's just a better sleep than sat in my chair, you know. That's a disturbed type sleep. It's also very tempting to turn the telly on. Oh, we have new TV that isn't anything to do with the TV. What the hell do you mean? I'll tell you what I mean. Basically, it's a new thing that's come out, well, relatively new, called Freely. Now, if you buy a brand new smart TV, you can get it with Freely built in. It's like a glorified app, but it basically allows most of the terrestrial channels and quite a lot of the apps, the things like BBC iPlayer, ITVX, stuff like that, Netflix, YouTube. This box that you buy as a separate entity without changing your TV is just access to the internet. So basically it's got an HDMI cable that goes from the box to the TV, It's got a power cable, so you plug it in, you know, direct current power goes in, and I actually bought an extra cable so that I've actually got a local area network cable, a LAN cable, direct from my hub, that's because I'm sat here, direct from the hub to the box. So instead of relying on the airborne internet, which is how it fundamentally works, I've now got a direct connection to my hub. So it's as fast as it can get. It's a high-speed cable as well. So I connected all that up, and my aerial TV that I've been relying on has got some very dodgy signals at times, such that there's channels that I want to watch that keep breaking up, and you can't watch them. They're just so bad. And most of those channels are now on this new box. There's a few channels I used to watch that I now don't have. Well, I do. They're, you know, I switch back to the old way. But most of the channels I watch are there. And I haven't investigated fully as to what actually is there yet. I've just done the basic things. It's got what at first appears to be a complicated remote control until you get your head round it, and then it's actually quite simple. And the easiest way to find out what's on all the channels is just hit the guide button and they come up in a list. And like most guides, you know, you can, if you go down to a certain channel, you can see what's on now, and then you can scroll forward and see what's coming up. So the guide works well, and you just stop on the one you want and press the OK button and you're on that channel. And all the channels are crystal clear, many are in HD. So the quality of the picture has just gone right up. It's absolutely brilliant. I've yet to watch a film because I've only just got this going. I mean, the cable only arrived this morning. The box arrived yesterday. So yeah, I'm well pleased. And the alternative was to get a desktop set. I forget, but it's another type of box, but it uses the dish that you would have for Sky. Yeah, well, there is a dish out on the wall, but God knows where the cable goes. And I looked into getting somebody to come and you know, take that cable off, put a new one on, and bring it down into the lounge so that I could, you know, connect the box to the dish. And then I thought, well, you know, they wanted quite a lot of money to do that. And a lot of it is because people won't use a ladder anymore for health and safety. It's actually regulations, so it's fair enough, which means they've got to get scaffolding. And it puts the price way up. So I never got round to doing that. And yeah, so this is an alternative. No aerial, just all the signal comes in from the internet. And it works absolutely brilliantly. And instead of 250 to 300 quid to get a satellite sorted out so that I could use a Freeview box, that's what it's called, Freeview, so that I could do it that way, this costs 90 quid. One-off purchase, no rental, no charges, nothing. And I get virtually all the channels I want, all in the one place and all on the one remote control. The only thing, apparently it's a fix that's coming out in the future, it'll be a software update, but the remote control for the box doesn't adjust the volume, so I've got to go back to my other remote to adjust the volume. And that's the only downside so far, is the volume on the channels was very, very low. So I've had to wind the volume on the TV up a hell of a lot to make it, you know, a comfortable level. But the picture is absolutely brilliant, so I'm well pleased with that. So yeah, I'll be up all night watching telly now. As I said, I haven't watched the film yet, but again, the quality is at channel level, so whatever you're watching on the channel is going to be at that quality. So well pleased, and I've now got interference-free multiple channels. That's pretty good. If I watch a film, I've got a sound bar, which is Bluetooth. So I just flick that on and get a nice sort of surround sound, you know, bass boomer box down the bottom and everything, to enhance the enjoyment of watching a film. So yeah, that's my sort of entertainment sorted. Well pleased. And this is the end of this video because I'm waffling about stuff that's got nothing to do with orchids and nothing to do with this cooking. So we'll leave it at that. But again, I've ticked off another viewers requested video. Several people wanted another cooking video. Quite sure why. You get the same ones. I mean, I have done a steak meal a couple of times. I've done the spaghetti and the curry and the chilli quite a few times. And I don't do much else that actually involves cooking. Not that would make a video anyway. So I think a lot of people like the cooking videos to just because of the, you know what I'm like. I don't panic, I don't fluster or anything like that. The sort of laid back cooking thing that, you know, is me just doing this sort of meal. And this will do 7 or 8 portions, one for now, and the others go in the containers, and when they've cooled down they go in the freezer for future use. And it's a very economic way of having some ready meals that are in effect home cooked, even though a lot of the stuff in here is store bought, still cooked at home. And it keeps the cost down. I mean, the mince is the most expensive single item, which is about £5, but then that's gone up quite a lot lately. Never used to be that much. The jars are around £1 each, 3 of those. The beans are about 25–30p. The black beans are a bit more expensive. These packets, the spicy packets, they're when they're on offer, they're four for £4. So they're £1 a pack basically. 1.20 if they're not on offer, but I don't buy things. If things come round on offer at a much cheaper price, I don't get them unless they're on offer. And then I buy perhaps a double lot and store them. You know, it all keeps. So yes, so it turns out, you know, overall, if you divide what I've just said in money, add it up to a total, and then divided by sort of 7 or maybe 8, probably 7, that's the cost of each portion, which is the cost of the meal. Very, very cheap. If you go to a ready meal at the supermarket for a chili con carne, you're probably going to pay £4, £4.50, and it'll be a lot smaller than my portions. Anyway, that'll do. That's blipped quite a bit. It'll have another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I shall get some on a plate and get it eaten, and put the portions to one side to cool down, ready to go in the freezer before I go to bed, preferably not forgetting them until the morning like I have done a couple of times. Not many, but a couple. You know, we want to get them in the freezer as soon as they're cool enough, otherwise you could start getting bacteria building up. So thanks for watching. Those that enjoy this sort of thing, I hope you do. Hope you've enjoyed this sort of thing. I'm still not quite sure why, but if people are willing to view it and enjoy it, then I'll do it. I'm not sure how long it will be before there's another one, but because I only have one of these on the go at a time, because I haven't got enough containers to have, like, you know, if I did a curry tomorrow to put in the freezer, I wouldn't have enough containers. So I tend to have one on the go with a few left over from the last one, and then I cycle the containers round. So and I don't eat this all the time, obviously. I have lots of other different types of meals. So I probably have one of these a week, sometimes not as much as that. So they last me quite a long time. Anyway, I have a pre-recorded, what is it today? It's Thursday today. I have a pre-recorded video for tomorrow, so I haven't got a film. And I have a pre-recorded video for Saturday again, so I haven't got a film, but I have got to water all my orchids tomorrow, and I have to venture out tomorrow because I haven't forgotten, I've just let it lapse. It's my sister's birthday on Saturday, and I've got the Orchid Society meeting on Saturday, so I'm going to have to get her a card and go round there tomorrow. Now if they're not in, I can put it through the door. If they are in, then I can stop and say hello and do the happy birthday thing and that. And have a horrible coffee, because her other half does not make nice coffee. But you be polite, and thank you very much and all that, but yeah, stop and have a chat and play with their fat dog. But yeah, I mean, my sister's not well. She's got health issues. What's she got? What's it called again? Osteoporosis, is it? Which means she can't walk very far now without being in pain. She spends a lot of the time just sitting down watching telly, and can't get involved with taking the dog for a walk. So they've got that off. So what they do is my sister drives the car, and her other half, she drives somewhere, dumps him and the dog, and then drives somewhere else and sits and waits reading a book or something like that while he does the dog walky bit and gets back to where the car is, and then she picks him up and they come back again. But she used to love being part of the dog walking thing, and she can't do it anymore. So we all have issues as we get older. So yes, so we will leave it at that, and I will see you in the next one, which has been pre-recorded. I can't even remember when I recorded it. It could have been last week, I don't know. It will probably say in the video. But I'll see you in the next one, whatever it is, whenever it was recorded, tomorrow. Bye for now.